Jean, are you doing announcements? Yes. Okay. Thank you.
How beautiful this day is. Page 10 in your prayer box. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Ma yafeh hayom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, shalom. Ma yafeh hayom. Shabbat, shalom. Ma yafeh hayom. Shabbat, 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 shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat, shalom. Shabbat, shalom. Ma yafeh hayom. Shabbat, shalom. Ma yafeh hayom. Shabbat, shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
So nice to see all of you. It truly is lovely to be together. It's not so lovely outside, but it's nice to all be in a warmer place and together. We are going to continue on page 9. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure, but what we do not gain.
On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share.
There are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On
Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation.
There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On
Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal.
And so we embrace Shabbat, our day of rest, day of wonder, and day of peace. On page 2, we'll have Judy and Carol and all of their family come up and help light candles in honor of Barbara Becker, their loved one who we're remembering today.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you so much. If you're able to take a moment to relax, perhaps uncross your legs or your arms, maybe lower your shoulders, get rid of some of your tension. I'll offer you a brief meditation. Take this time to review your week, to begin to move forward. From Sunday, let us breathe in beauty and wonder, and breathe out pettiness and ambivalence. From Monday, let us breathe in patience and forgiveness, and breathe out any frustration or punishment. From Tuesday, let us breathe in wholeness and freedom, and breathe out brokenness and constraint. From Wednesday, let us breathe in understanding and inspiration, and breathe out confusion and doubt. From Thursday, let us breathe in confidence and satisfaction, and breathe out any uncertainty and displeasure. From Friday, let us breathe in curiosity and creativity, and breathe out shame and boredom. And today, on Shabbat, we embrace hope and compassion and let go of anger and indifference from our week. And we hold on to all of those positive qualities, all those positive breaths to create a peaceful Shabbat for all of us. We continue with a reading on the screen. Thank you, Henry. Working is another way of praying. You plant in Israel the soul of a tree. You plant in the desert the spirit of gardens. Praying is another way of singing. You plant in the tree the soul of lemons. You plant in the gardens the spirit of roses. Singing is another way of loving. You plant in the lemons the spirit of your son. You plant in the roses the soul of your daughter. Loving is another way of living. You plant in your daughter the spirit of Israel, and you plant in your son the soul of the desert. Baruch atah Adonai hamachazir shechinato letzion. Continue with Lacuna Ranana, also on the screen, I believe. Continue on page 20, welcoming the Shabbat bride.
Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nikabela. La 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 lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat likrat kala. Penei penei Shabbat nikabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad. Ishmiyanu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem lo tiferet v'litzchila. La 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 lecha dodi. Likrat likrat kala. Penei penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi. Likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nikabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, mihi makor habracha, merosh mikadem nisucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila, la 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 lecha dodi. Likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nikabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei penei Shabbat nikabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'odek u'liori, uri uri shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayik tigla. La 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 lecha dodi, likrat פני פני שבת נקבלה לך לך דודי לקראת לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה
Please rise and face the doors.
מורי ושלום עטרת בלה גם בשמחה ובצוחלה תוך אמוני ים סגולה בואי חלה לה 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 לך דודי לקראת לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לך לך דודי לקראת לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לה 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 לך דודי לקראת לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה לך לך דודי לקראת לקראת קלה פני פני שבת נקבלה פני פני שבת נקבלה פני פני שבת נקבלה
Please be seated. Continue on page 25, below the line, the bottom of the page. And so we understand that ordinary people are messengers of the Most High. They go about their tasks in holy anonymity, often even unknown to themselves. And yet, if they had not been there, if they had not said what they said or did what they did, it would not be the way it is now. We would not be the way we are now. Never forget that you too yourself may be a messenger, perhaps even one whose errand extends over several lifetimes. Continue on page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבם בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבא מברך לעולם עולמי המאיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילם ינקו ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמא ואמרו אמן.
It's tradition in our community for a little bit to have the clergy face you while we do the Baruch Hu, our next prayer. However, we're going to try to something different this evening. I was recently asked how I pray while there are services going on, while I lead services. It can be a very difficult task, and I have learned that if I take moments for myself, just like maybe all of you might do during the service, that I'm able to have a little bit of prayer. And so when we do the Baruch Hu, that's a chance for all of us to face the ark, to feel more connected to God, and to be able to pray more easily. So please rise, page 28. We'll join together.
Mar
continue on page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv Aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu, uvkumeinu nasiach bechukecha, v'nizmach b'divrei Toratecha, ub'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem hayenu, ve'orech yameinu, u'bahem negeh yomam v'layla, negeh yomam v'layla, ve'ahavatcha al tasir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael, ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto le'olam va'ed.
Please be seated. We're on page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha mechol levavcha uvchol nafshecha uvchol me'odecha, ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha, v'shilantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, b'shivtecha bebeitecha, uvlechtecha v'derech, uvshachbecha uvkumecha, ugshartam leot al yadecha, vehayu letotafot bein einecha, uchtatam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha, lema'an ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
On the facing page, just below the line, Abai said, spread the love of God through your actions. If you yourself study and help others to do so, if your business activities are decent and trustworthy, what will people say? Have you seen the behavior of one who studies Torah? How beautiful! What a fine person! Thus Isaiah taught, you are my servant Israel. I'll be glorified through you. Micha Mocha, our Song of Redemption, is on page 40.
Ya ba ba bim bim ba ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bim ba ya ba ba bim bam, ya da 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 ya ba ba bim bam, ya da 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 ya ba ba bim bam. Mi chamocha bailim Adonai, mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh, norati lodo sefele, norati lodo sefele. Ya ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya da 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 ya ba ba bim bam, ya da 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 ya ba ba bim bam. Malchutecha ra'u v'necha, boker yam lifnei Moshe Miriam, ze'elianu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yam ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya ba ba bim bim bam, ya ba ba bim bam, ya da 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 ya ba ba bim bam, ya da 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 ya ba ba bim bam. ונאמר כי ודעת אדוני את יעקב וגדול מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Page 42. We can read together at the bottom of the page. Grant, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Defend us against enemies, illness, war, famine, and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, God, watch over us and deliver us. For you, God, are gracious and merciful. Guard our going and coming to life and to peace evermore. Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי
47. Below the line, every word of one's prayer should be like a rose that is picked from a bush. One gathers rows upon rows until a bouquet is formed and can be offered to God as a beautiful blessing. Let us rise if we're able to and offer our own blessings to God with the Amidah.
Adonai sifatai tiftachu fi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu. Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magin Baruch Atah Adonai Magin Abraham Be'ezrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayeh HaKol Atarav Lehoshia Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem Mechalkel chayim bechesed Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim Somech noflim berofei cholim Umatir asurim Umekayem emunato Lishenei afar Baruch atah Adonai mechayeh hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh ukroshim b'chol yom yehallelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
Please be seated. The imaginary thread. Something is very gently, visibly, silently pulling at me, a thread or a net of threads, finer than cobweb and as elastic. I haven't tried the strength of it. No barbed hook pierced and tore me. Was it not long ago this thread began to draw me, or way back? Was I born with its knot about my neck, a bridle? Not fear, but a stirring of wonder makes me catch my breath when I feel a tug of it, when I thought it had loosened itself and gone. Continue on page 57. You can join together at the bottom. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha be'yirah na'avot. Page 61. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. We'll take time for internal prayer and silent reflection.
Page 62. Yehu leratzon imre fi v'hegyon libi lefanecha. Yehu leratzon imre fi v'hegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri v'goali. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri v'goali. Yehu leratzon imre fi v'hegyon libi lefanecha. Yehu leratzon imre fi v'hegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri v'goali. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri v'goali.
Last week, I saw the musical Parade. Perhaps you've seen it. You're seeing it tomorrow. I might ruin it for you. I'm so sorry. But it's still on my mind. It's a historical portrayal of Leo Frank, who is wrongly accused of killing a white girl, and he's put in prison, and eventually he is hanged. And during his trial, okay, I'm glad I didn't spoil it for you too much, Cynthia. During his trial, he has witnesses who perform a speech that is not the truth. There are 3 girls who worked alongside the victim that gave a rehearsed and inaccurate speech of how they were treated, and they were paid to give this speech. And the bookkeeper was also given a deal to make it seem as if Leo had killed the girl. And so all of these unjust statements were given to make the innocent person look guilty and ultimately killed. This is a problem of unjust systems, and it's still ongoing. It's still happening today in our country and around the world, and we are still trying to solve it. It's something that happened even in the Torah, and we are still working on it many, many centuries later. In biblical times, God would ask Aaron and his descendants to serve as priests for Israel, and their task was to manage the sacred precinct where the presence of God, sort of like the sanctuary, would dwell on earth, first in the portable tabernacle and then later in the temples of Jerusalem. And they would try and maintain a holy abode for God's presence, which is a very difficult task, when there are so many forces threatening to profane it, including death, sickness, decay, and disorder. But the worst thing that would try and profane it, the worst threat, was the power of sin. And this could sully the entire sanctuary and making God's presence disappear. When an Israelite committed a sin, the transgression would actually stick to the altar and then risk the driving away of God. And if there was no sacrifice done, if there was no atonement done by the priests, especially the Yom Kippur one, God would immediately leave from Israel's midst. As a result, they had this elaborate system of ritual impurity that they set up to keep away anyone who encountered sins. Among the Israelite transgressions, which the priests enacted atonement, the Talmud lists some usual crimes, including murder, idolatry, and sexual misconduct, and it explains how each of the priestly garments atoned for each category. So if the priest is wearing some sort of tunic, then that would atone for any bloodshed crimes. If the priest is wearing pants, then that would atone for illicit sex crimes. If they're wearing the mitre, which is some sort of headgear, that would atone for arrogance. And the last thing, the ephod, which is like a robe, that would atone for idolatry. But the best thing that I think about in this whole costume is the high priest's breastpiece of judgment, or the Choshen Mishpat, which atoned for all judgments, or all incorrect judgments, all those ones against Leo Frank, for example. And the Israelites realized that even the best systems of human justice can err, and they feared that miscarriages of justice in Israel would repel a just God. And so they create this elaborate and rigorous system to prevent injustice as much as possible, to ensure that the innocent would be vindicated, and only those who are truly guilty are convicted. And they designed it with the intention of providing as fair a legal process as possible, and they had very strict stipulations for who could qualify as a witness or a judge. Each case has to have at least 2 eyewitnesses, and those eyewitnesses cannot be a wicked person, they can't be a robber, or a person formally convicted of a crime or perjury or formally impeached. And they must be of the highest moral character. And they believed judges who rule justly were partners with God in creation. We have been taught in our country and in our world to expect integrity, rigor, and reliability in our system of justice. We demand that justice be pursued with no less diligence by our government in the places we live. And in the American justice system today, as you know, innocent defendants are too often convicted. These false convictions are a result of a broken system. There are biased lineups, there are police interrogations with less than savory tactics. There is a shortage of resources, money, and equipment in these departments, and they are not immune to insider malfeasance. And so the system is stuck in a vicious cycle where many are prosecuted, but justice does not always prevail. As the musical Parade tells us, injustice in the justice system is still ongoing. And many times, a desire to convict someone led to convictions based on stereotypes. Such erroneous verdicts ruin our national character, no less than ancient miscarriages of justice in Israel would sully the sanctuary. And all of this, of course, needs to be changed. And so we, as citizens, must demand with our voices and our votes reforms to our judicial system that ensure every defendant competent representation, a fair trial, and reasonable sentencing. No system of justice can eradicate mistakes altogether, but God's distancing at injustice calls upon all of us to demand a system where mistakes are both rare and reversible. After all, these days, there is no breastpiece of judgment or Choshen Mishpat to bail us out. Instead, we need to be that Choshen Mishpat, the protectors of fair judgment. May we take on this task with enthusiasm and vigor, enacting more justice in our world. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We want to offer a prayer for Israel and for everyone in that area of the world. Lie us down to sleep, God in peace, for nights free of sirens and rockets, and raise us up, our God, to continued life, for days with no news of fallen or wounded, without terror attacks, sirens, or missiles. And remove from us every enemy, plague, sword, famine, and agony. Enemy, these enemies encircling us, including Hamas and Hezbollah. Plague, these are the wounds of the IDF soldiers in Gaza, including the wintertime infections through which some warriors lost their lives. And sword, this is the war of the swords of iron, in which we are engaged, in Gaza and on other fronts. And agony, this is the misery enveloping the families of the fallen of swords of iron, the families of the kidnapped and of those injured in terror attacks, the wounded and their loved ones, and all of Am Yisrael in Israel and abroad. Defend us and deliver us for the sake of your name. Yael Levine. And we also want to offer a prayer of healing for those in our own community, for those close to us. The B'nai Israel community is thinking of Leah bat Sima, Michal bat Leah, Leba Elka bat Shea, Michael Golob, Brad Hummel, Harriet Stone, Binyamin Shimon ben Gittel, Rosalind Meyer, Yehoshua Naphtali ben Chana, Ehud ben Gila, Rivka bat Ita, Yitzhak ben Ita, Miriam bat Sarah, Elliot Rappaport, Cindy Victor, Bala bat Leah, Tova bat Basha, Michal Aharona bat Dina Fega, Andy Bader, Marlene Margolis, Mark Siegel, Daniel Ben Zissel, Esther Rachel bat Chana, Max Schuster, Clint Willis, Moshe Ben Sarah, Sissel Kala bat Peroleba, Richard and Barbara Yanata, Fruman bat Drezo, Eliyahu ben Chava and Asher, Elaine Siegel, and Yisrael ben Fega. And the Temple Koami community is thinking of Steve Bloom, Linda Bloom, Judy Bogart, Cindy Carlock, Suzanne Christie, Joe Crane, Miles Eichenhorn, Roger Ford, Richard Fordyce, Howard Fridson, Amanda Fry, Lori Glick, Joel Katz, Gary Lincoln, Marvin Klein, Daniel Mayo, Micah Nichols, Carol Benovowitz, Eric Richards, Susan Rubenstein, Brenda Saperstein, Diane Siegel-DeVita, Marcia Silverman, Gloria Zytok, and Judy Zimmerman. If you have any names to add or correct, I encourage you to do so. Our prayer for healing is on page 253 in our prayer books.
Who bless the one
find healing. Turn to page 282 and rise if we are able to for the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'teit gedula liotzer b'reishit, shelo asanu kigoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'goraleinu kechol hamonam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. Page 292. When cherished ties are broken and the chain of love is shattered, only trust and the strength of faith can lighten the heaviness of the heart. At times, the pain of separation seems more than we can bear. But if we dwell too long on our loss, we embitter our hearts and harm ourselves and those about us. The psalmist said that in his affliction he learned the law of God. And in truth, grief is a great teacher. When it sends us back to serve and bless the living, we learn how to counsel and comfort those who, like ourselves, are bowed with sorrow. We learn when to keep silent in their presence, and when a word will assure them of our love and concern. Thus, even when they are gone, the departed are with us, moving us to live as in their higher moments they themselves wish to live. We remember them now. They live in our hearts. They are an abiding blessing. The community of B'nai Israel is remembering Wesley Brown, Marvin Rosen, Max Silverstein, Clara Stark, Nancy Fisher, William Parker, Betty Margolis, Theodore Jacob Levine, Gloria Braverman, Arthur Goodman, Esther Nussbaum, and Wolf Brown. And we think of those who have passed away in recent days and weeks in the Temple Kolomi community. We're remembering Roberta Feinstein, Eleanor Raffel, Valerie Sherman. And we think of those who have passed away in this season in years past. We're remembering Herman Abramson, Sylvia Bayer, Barbara Becker, Joseph Brooks, Esther Cutler, Jack Ector, Ruth Finkel, Celia Friedman, Hyman Gittleman, Israel Goodman, Max Isley, Murray Jackson, Minette Levine, Joanna Liffman, Jack Roseman, Harriet Stegman, Jesse Kaufman Stern, William Winston, Peter Wolf, Margaret Wilson Clark, and Eldon Laverne Clark. If you have any names to add or correct, I encourage you to do so.
Al Asher.
We hold all of those people in our hearts, and we join together for Kaddish. Please rise if you're able to. Page 294. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma tivrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchayei t'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mivarach Le'olam Ulamei Almaya. Yitzbarach v'yishabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal Shemei Dekudesha B'richu Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran me'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'romav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Oseh shalom b'romav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen.
Please be seated. We have some announcements from Jean. Thank you so much. Just see your announcements. This isn't the one. It's going to cross something out that's not happening.
Oh, okay.
That's all. And I left a new one in your box, but you printed out this one. I don't really want to falsely advertise an event that we're not doing. Okay. Here we go. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Let's read it for you.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
It is really great to see everybody. I have a confession. I always ask Amy if I can do the first Friday because we have such a great crowd and it's so much fun.
That's what it is.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks to the ushers and our stream team. Since this is the first Friday, we are joined by our B'nai Israel brethren. And welcome, and they are also providing the Kiddush for us. Tomorrow, March 8th at 11:30, join Rabbi Shribman for a prayer walk off-site at Woodland Hills Nature Park, which is at 26655 Farmington Road in Farmington Hills. Dress appropriately for the weather, please. There will be no in-person services tomorrow. Your site names will be read during the walk. The walk will last approximately 1 hour. On Friday, March 14th at 6 p.m., join us for Purim Shabbat. The Purim Carnival is coming. Join us on Sunday, March 16th at 10:30 a.m. when our religious school students will perform their Purim spiel, followed by our TKA Purim Carnival at 11. Ticket information is available on our website. Join us for a memorable weekend celebrating Rabbi Norman Roman's 50 years in the rabbinate. We will have a beautiful dinner, and services on Friday, March 21st, beginning at 6, followed by Shabbat services. Then on Saturday morning, we will again have Shabbat services and lunch, where we will be joined by B'nai Israel. You should have received the postcard invitation by mail. Wishing everyone Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Thank you so much, Jane. If you want to come next week for services, please come in costume, and you will hear the band play. And the Purim Carnival / celebration is for everyone. Not only will there be many, many games to play, but there will also be hamantash and baking with Janet. And I will be offering a study session with a surprise. So I hope that you will come and join us for many fun things. Kiddush and Motzi are on page 5. We're going to have Cynthia Katz and Deb Ford come join us. And while they are coming up, we want to make sure to thank Judy and all of her family for providing the flowers for us today in honor of Barbara Becker and her memory. We are on page 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon yinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh b'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol hamim ve'shabbat kodshecha be'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Thank you so much. Feel free to have a piece, a reward for your difficult task. We're going to have our closing song, Shalom Aleichem, on page 323.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Borchem Leshalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni Leshalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zechem Leshalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
May you feel whole, knowing you are enough. May you feel confident, knowing you are prepared. May you feel calm, knowing the storm will pass. And may you feel at peace, knowing you are loved. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.